We are Muskegon County at Work, spotlighting workers of local governments throughout our county, revealing what it takes to make our communities comfortable and safe.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Muskegon County Municipalities at Work. And today, I get the opportunity and pleasure to interview Kristin Kluting, who is a major player in our park system here in Muskegon County. And ultimately, we're going to get a chance to learn about our wonderful parks. If you've ever had a chance to look at a Visit Muskegon magazine or drive along our lakeshore, I'm sure you've seen the signs and maybe you've pulled in once or twice to the parking lot. But really, it's an asset here in Muskegon County that we should not take for granted, and understand and appreciate that those that make our parks look beautiful and have trails ready for us to hike and walk, that doesn't happen by accident either. So, Chris, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Thanks.
I always like to start with my guests. Introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about yourself and kind of what brought you to this line of work.
Yeah, so I grew up in Spring Lake, and I moved to Muskegon to go to MCC. Proud Jayhawks. I got my associate's degree from there, and I started working at Hoffmaster State Park. I worked there for a few years as seasonal ranger, and then I moved to Muskegon State Park. And then I was going to go get my environmental science degree. I was all ready to go up to Northern Michigan University, and the ranger position opened up at Duck Lake State Park. So I was the ranger there for 8 years. And then I just recently started working for the county parks. So I've worked for the county parks. This is my third season there. I'm the senior park ranger there now. So
talk a little bit about, park ranger. Obviously, I think when people hear the term park ranger, they probably have various images come across their mind. I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is, I don't know if you ever watched the old Yogi Bear cartoons, and there was always a park ranger chasing Yogi Bear around. What does a park ranger do?
Yeah, so we're really a jack of all trades. I mean, that's what I love about my job. It's really something different every day, depending on the season, the weekend. We're always doing something different. Cleaned a lot of toilets to get to where I am. We work with grants. You work with the customer service. We're doing that. We're always fixing things, lots of maintenance. We have 27 seasonal staff that I manage, so lots of working with people. We do everything.
So ultimately, when it comes to being the park ranger for Muskegon County, how many different parks are we talking about that you are overseeing on a daily basis?
That's a great question. We have 8 different parks throughout the county. We have 3 modern campgrounds, Blue Lake, Minor Park, and Pioneer Park. And then we have Dune Harbor Park, our newest park, which is a really great day use area. And we'd like to develop into a campground eventually, too. So,
what's it like, I guess, what have you seen as trends maybe over the last 5 years as to, are we seeing an increase, kind of a plateau of folks taking advantage of the park system? What have you seen?
Yeah, definitely over COVID, so 2020, the past 5 years, we had tons of more people, a huge influx, more people coming out to the parks, more people camping. People really got into that, so we've seen a huge influx in that.
What are some of the challenges that you have seen, maybe in the recent times, as it relates to parks?
Challenges is, probably funding and staff, just like anywhere else. We could always use more staff to properly manage the parks, and funding. We are 100% self-funded, so all of our parks are funded off of our user fees, so day passes that you buy, like if you go to Dune Harbor Park, that funds our whole park system, and then camping fees. We don't get any general fund dollars. Other things, how we're funded is through grants, too, so we have to apply for those, but to get those grants, there's usually match funding that we have to do to get those grants, too, so that's always, the game we're playing to try and get funding. We do have a lot of old infrastructure that needs replacing and updating and maintaining. A lot of it, was built in the 60s and 70s, and it's very expensive to replace. So those are big projects we're always working on.
What, every year when I register my vehicle, I always pay the extra money for the passport.
Yeah.
Do county parks, in particular Muskegon, does the county receive any part of that state funding?
Yeah, so not directly. So it's a great question because we are just so fortunate. We have so many parks in Muskegon. So we actually have 3 state parks in Muskegon County. And I'm pretty sure that there's no other county that has 3 state parks. We have Muskegon State Park, Duck Lake State Park, and Hoffmaster State Park. So those are all funded through those fees when you get that thing on your tag there. And then we do, if we get grants, there's like a Recreation Passport grant. Those grants that we can apply for are funded by that too. So when you buy that, it does kind of indirectly support all your parks. That's not just county parks, but also township parks, municipal parks. They can apply for those as well. Yeah.
So folks should understand that there are 2 park systems here in Muskegon County, right?
Oh, a lot more than that.
But you've got the state parks, then you have the county parks.
Yep, and then we have the city parks too. So I think there's like maybe 28 or more city parks, state parks, the county parks, and then there's like the Norton Shores Park. They're all separate, all different funding. They have all different staff. Yeah.
So ultimately, as people are sitting here listening to this, and they say, well, I get the passport. I pay the extra for the passport on my car. That must be helping Muskegon County Parks. That's not necessarily true. That we want folks to understand that where the state parks are fun to go to, they should also take some time to enjoy our county parks because, as you indicated, it's self-funded. So in order to maintain our county parks, we need more visitors.
Yeah, that county park pass is very important, and then our camping passes that supports all of our parks. So,
have you ever had a chance, and maybe you guys track this, looking at state residents, county residents versus out-of-state residents when it comes to camping?
We do track that. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but a lot of our parks, like Pioneer Park, a lot of it is we have a lot of local people as opposed to the state parks where it's a lot of people from out of state that come in. We do have a fair amount of out of county and then out of state people that do come. I wish I knew those numbers to tell you, but I don't know exactly. But there's a pretty good mix. So
ultimately, we're seeing. I guess the point is that certainly. One of the goals, at least that I have seen over the years, is Muskegon County increasing its tourism image,
absolutely.
Right? And certainly one of the assets to that is our county park system. So I would imagine, is that something that kind of drives you?
Yeah. Our, like Pioneer Park, for instance, it's a huge park. There's 235 campsites there, so it's like a small city in the summer. So it'll be full every weekend. So that generates a lot of income. A lot of people come to that. They also use, the winter sports complex is right down the road. I'm sure people go to all the local businesses, and it's a huge attraction for the area. And, collectively as a whole, we get so busy in the summertime. So it's a lot of income being directed.
Talk a little bit about what was it? I mean, obviously, it at least from the answers, you had this sort of passion to follow this path, this career path. What was it about this industry or this career that really kind of drove you to really stay with it? Yeah,
well, I kind of always wanted to travel, and I did a lot of traveling because I used to work seasonal. And I just realized we're so lucky to have what we have here. I mean, Lake Michigan, you go out there, fresh water as far as the eye can see, that's in the whole world is really, really special. Our beaches, I've been to Hawaii, I've been to both beaches on both coasts, and our beaches are really beautiful. We have that beautiful sugar sand. People come here and they're like, wow, this is where people come on their vacation, and we live here year round. So I just decided, I love it here. I love Muskegon in particular. I love the people here. I love the community. And I want to share my love with that for everyone. So I love being outside. I love showing everyone, teaching about plants and animals. And just if you appreciate, coming outside with your family, I just like to show people that.
So outside of sort of the managerial roles of the park ranger, your answer there just sparked a question for me. Are you out there intermingling with folks, kind of teaching them about the vegetation and the wildlife and what they might expect to see on their, day-long hike?
Yeah, sometimes I get the opportunity to maybe lead a hike and stuff like that here or there. Mostly I might talk to campers. I'm really a passionate mycologist, so I might tell them about, mushrooms, how that's connected to the trees. We have birds. There's, so many things in our park that we can educate people about. Mostly, we're just really busy in our campgrounds and stuff, so day to day I'll be working with that. We do have a project I'm really excited for at Dune Harbor Park. We did receive a grant through it's called the Planet Award grant, And with that, we're trying to get schools out into the park, and we're trying to get, seniors and anyone that wants to get out and volunteer in the park. And as part of that grant, we will be planting native trees and native species. We've had some hikes out there to educate the public about dune ecology. So there's a lot going on there that I really like to get involved with at any chance I have. So that's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So talk to me about, now, as you said, a lot of the staff, it sounds like, is seasonal.
Yeah.
And is that more spring, summer, or is it spring, summer, winter where you're looking for seasonal help?
Yeah, so actually those positions will open up on Sunday for applications. So if anyone's interested, they are full-time, so you'll get 40 hours a week. It starts in May and then it ends in September, so that's when our campgrounds open. You work 40 hours a week, you deal with the public, you could work in the campground office, you'll be checking people in. A lot of it is, restroom cleaning, keeping our parks beautiful. You'll get to walk on the beach, pick up trash, stuff like that. Keeping the campsites acceptable, picking up trash, cleaning the fire pits and mowing, weed whipping, things like that.
I mean, obviously, again, to your experience, because you started as a seasonal employee, it's about taking pride in again, the natural resource asset that Muskegon County has. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, we have beautiful beaches, which I think is why people move here, why people stay here, not only the beaches, but our forests, our trees, just taking care of that. If we have, a busy beach day, we can have a parking lot full of people, a campground full of people, and just making sure that it's all beautiful so people want to keep coming back. I mean, emptying trashes, keeping things clean so that people can access the natural resources is a big deal too. So,
are you finding, I'll say, a mutual respect for the asset? And what I mean by that is, people, even though you guys provide that service where you're cleaning up, are people recognizing that this is a natural resource and that they need to play some role in keeping it as beautiful as it is?
Yeah, we have people that, come to our parks daily and they just, they will pick up trash. I see people with bags and they will, they just kind of take pride in the park in and of itself without even, it's not like it's their job or anything, but yeah.
Excellent. You mentioned the big Dune Harbor project. Any other, as you look 3 and 5 years down the road, and whether it's a county vision or just a Kristin Kluting vision, what do you see as something you'd love to see the county or the park system take on? Yeah.
So we have a lot going on right now as is. A big thing we just finished was our 5-year rec plan. He said 5 years, so that kind of made me think of that. So that we have to submit to the DNR to, before we can apply to a grant, we have to have that all figured out. So basically it's our plan for the next 5 years. And a lot of the stuff in that plan is stuff that I'd really like to see happen and that we're working towards. Trail connectivity is a big one. We're kind of emulating what Grand Rapids has done with the Greenway project. So we'd like to see greenways that connect parks and trails so that people and animals can, travel through the county and get to the next county. I would say just Dune Harbor Park is a huge undertaking. So that park in and of itself was just a huge win for the public. We did get $10 million worth of Natural Resource Trust Fund grants to acquire that park. So in the next 5 years, we'll be working on the master plan for that park. There's a lot of opportunity there. There's so much potential, things that we could do there. There's, 15 schools within 5 miles of that park. So it'd be great if we could get maybe a group campground there where Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts could come out, family could come out in groups, and we could do guided nature trails there. Another big thing is accessibility. So, a lot of our population is getting older. It's harder for them to get around. There's people with disabilities as well, and we should make all of our natural resources accessible for them. So just, making all of our restrooms, all of our facilities ADA accessible is a big goal for me.
That's awesome. I've always wondered, and I think I know the answers, but I'm not quite sure, that all the trails. So the trails, I've walked Hoffmaster State Park before, and I'm assuming that most of those trails are natural. I don't know if you or the seasonal work, tries to, I'll say groom, for lack of a better way to describe it, some of those trails. But can you describe a little bit of that process?
Yeah, so in our county parks, we don't have a ton of trails right now. I guess when I'm thinking of trails, I'm thinking of like connecting our bike trails and then establishing more trails. The trails at Dune Harbor Park were kind of there already. They're very sandy. They're really challenging in some parts because, you have to go up and down dunes. When I think of the trails at Hoffmaster State Park, I'm not sure exactly how those were developed, but there's definitely a lot of upkeep on those with erosion and especially, with the crazy weather lately, erosion is a big deal, getting down to the beach, things like that. So
as you think about your time sort of managing our county park system, if you were given sort of an unlimited amount of funds, what would you tackle first?
What would I tackle first?
Yeah.
I would, we have a lot of restrooms that are just really, really old and they're in really, really rough shape. And that's one of the number one things. I think there's been surveys. People really want nice restrooms. It sounds silly, but when you go to the park, you need the facilities to use. So yeah, I'd improve all of our facilities. I'd love to get a good dog park. I think that'd be great, something that we need. I'd love to have a nature center. I think that'd be great, just to have a huge nature center. And Pioneer Park really needs some ADA accessibility down to the beach because we had that big flood in 2020. Our staircase got washed away. We haven't had the funding to replace that yet. So I just think Pioneer Park it's just as opposed to all of our other parks in Muskegon County, it's nice and flat, and then that would get access down there. So also the ADA access at Dune Harbor. So yeah, you can see in my mind, I'm just thinking of that ADA access. It's really expensive to get, a staircase down to a beach, but to get, an ADA gentle slope like that, I mean, it's very expensive nowadays. So I'd love to do all that. Also, I'd love to acquire more land if I could for the public. We have 2 beautiful rivers here. It'd be great to have more boat launches on the rivers and have access to them because we're really limited in the access that we have to the rivers right now. And that's just a great resource that I think we could take advantage of if we had that.
Well, listen, I love your vision. I love your vision, and it would be nice if there were some more available funds. And I think one of the messages I'd like folks that are watching this to appreciate and realize is that whether you live in this community and maybe you drive by these county parks on a routine basis and you don't think anything of it, stop on by.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, come check out our parks.
Whether you pay don't pay the daily fee. Get the year pass.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And help fund these great assets that we have.
Yeah. If you get that annual pass, it's good for the whole year. You're supporting the parks, in the best way that you can. And, if that seems like a lot, I'll give you my speech. It's a $7 day pass or $25 for that annual pass. So if you get that annual pass, you think you spend more at McDonald's in a day. So if you think you're not going to get your money's worth, then that's a good point to get out there, watch a sunset, watch a sunrise, take your dogs for a walk. Take the family to the beach. I feel like if you use it once, you'd be getting your money's worth. But just think if you went to the park every week, how that would influence your life for the better. For $25, it's a heck of a deal.
You find yourself curious. Certainly, as you mentioned, a lot of us, there are a lot of folks that, are daily grinding like you daily grind, and maybe taking 10 minutes. Pull into the park and just kind of soak in, whether it be a sunrise, sunset, or the beauty of snow, across the trees. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's great for your mental health, for your physical health, if you can just get a walk in there. Dune Harbor is really great because if you go out to there, you walk down the trail, you were in suburbia just a minute ago and you get out there and it seems like you're in the middle of nowhere because you literally can't see all around. Or, it's kind of a family tradition my family has for Christmas. We always like to go out to the beach, and it's always like, wow, it's beautiful out here. It might be snowy. Last few years it was like 60 degrees and really nice, actually. But you go out there, and I'm always thinking, I know everyone's doing other things right now, but it's so beautiful out here, and it really just makes me happy to do those kind of things. So,
what sort of wildlife can people expect to see?
Yeah. Deer, I think, would be the number one. If you go out to Dune Harbor, you probably will always see deer out there. Turkeys, there's bald eagles, lots of birds. Dune Harbor Park, all of our parks along the lakeshore, we have about a mile of Lake Michigan lakeshore, and just to get out there and see all the shorebirds out there, there's just tons of birds because we're in a migratory fairway. So lots of birds. You could see turtles if you're into fishing. That's another opportunity out there. And yeah, lots of plants and trees and all sorts of stuff.
Now, do you have this may be an unfair question, but do you have a favorite season when it comes to the park?
A favorite season? That's a tough one. I would probably say I love summer because I'm really a beach person. I will get up early, go to the beach before I go to work, and then I'll take my dogs to the beach after I get out of work. So I love the beach. So I would have to say summer, but fall is a close second because it's just breathtaking around here, and I really appreciate a good winter like we're having this year too. It is a really hard question. I'm a true Michigander. I can appreciate all seasons. Spring is great because you're really ready for it, and everything turns green, and you just feel great about it. So maybe summer, but I love them all.
That's a good fence-sitting answer, that all the seasons are equal playing field. So obviously, people think of parks and they think summer, they think camping and all that, but there's things that you can do in the wintertime as well.
Yeah.
What are the advantages to winter in the parks?
Yeah, we have the Winter Sports Complex. I think they changed the name. It's called the Adventure Sports Complex now. But yeah, you can go cross-country skiing, you can go sledding, you can go ice skating around here. They have a really cool ice skating trail. It's lit. It goes through the woods. You can play hockey. You can go snowshoeing. I think just walking in the winter is great too. And yeah, we have the luge there too. It's really special. If you haven't tried that, you can do that in the winter. You can also do that in the summer in the wheeled luge. So there's so many opportunities for things to get outside in the winter here too. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I would imagine that, and I say this because I know my folks are kind of into this, but snowshoeing.
Snowshoeing, yeah.
In our county parks.
It's been a good year for it.
Yeah. Absolutely. So as we kind of wrap things up here, Chris, for those folks out there that are interested in becoming or looking into seasonal work, how do they do that?
Yeah, you can go to our website, MuskegonCountyParks.org. There's a link for that on there. Or you can go to the county website. There's a link for it also. We go through the county HR. They handle all that. I'm the hiring manager for that. So they could apply there and we could get you set up with a position. It's 40 hours a week. It would be May through September. You do have to work weekends. That's when we're busy, so that's the thing. But I think it starts out around $16 an hour, so it's pretty competitive pay this year. So
excellent. And I think you mentioned this before, but how many seasonal folks are you going to be looking for? Yeah,
we have 27 seasonal workers. So we hire about 12 at Pioneer Park. We have 4 at Twin Lake, 4 up at Minert Park to run the campground up there. We also staff Heritage Landing, the dock security out there, so that's a big one we'll be hiring for as well. I'm really excited with the grant we got for Dune Harbor. We will be hiring a volunteer coordinator for that park specifically to try and run programs out there. So yeah, lots of exciting things going on with that.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Anything that you can think of maybe that the public doesn't know but should know about, whether it be your job as park ranger or what Muskegon County has to offer as it relates to parks?
Yeah, I think we've covered a lot of the things I wanted to mention, just how lucky we are to have all the different parks. There's the county parks, there's the state parks. The big one is people think that, we are tax funded, but we don't get any general tax funding. So like you said, those day passes, those annual passes, the camping passes, that really supports our parks. That's probably the biggest thing I like people to know. So.
And that's something that I've just learned, so thank you for educating me. So, Hey, everybody, get out there. You Muskegon County residents, spend the $25 because that's less than what you will spend going out to dinner, guaranteed. Sure. And you get to enjoy what Muskegon County, one of the rich assets that Muskegon County has, which is our county park system. And maybe you see Chris out there, say hi. Let her know that, the tip of the cap for keeping the park system up and running.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It's a huge opportunity. I love my job. So
awesome. Well, thank you, Chris, for joining me today. It's been a great conversation. And look forward to seeing you out at one of our county parks here this summer.
Great. Thanks for the opportunity. I hope you make it out to the parks as much as you can.
Amen to that. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show for today. This is Muskegon County Municipalities at Work. an inside look at our county park system. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, this show does not happen without the ingenuity of one Mike Vogus.